local boards of elections and local leaders set hours for when voters can come by. It really strips away the ability for those of us who care about the franchise to get our people to the polls. And what we learned in 06 and what we learned in 08, and sadly what they forgot since 04, if you open up the process, you reduce costs, you enable more Ohioans to have their voices heard, you enable more Ohioans to have their voices heard, and when that happens, we're all better for it.
How many did you get? How many signatures?
318,460.
So well over the amount you needed.
230,000 needed. What is that number? 231,147. And I got to hand it to Greg Schultz and our friends at OFA across the state, a broad coalition, Progress Ohio, folks in the labor community, activists spread all across 88 counties. We surpassed our goals in 67 of them in a very short period of time. Remember, this was about a 6-week period of time where the coalition got together and focused on the petition gathering process, and we more than surpassed the amount needed. This is a moment in time for our Republican colleagues in the legislature to stop and to listen, because like Senate Bill 5, like House Bill 194, and like the redistricting maps, when Democrats commit themselves, we build a broad coalition, we can stop this overreaching agenda, and there's a lot of lessons to be learned. We will make the ballot next year with 194 by a wide margin, and we will do the same with other egregious pieces of legislation if we have to.
Can you discuss what operating under current law would mean to President Obama and the Sheriff's Department?
Well, when we stop House Bill 194, it's going to allow more flexible hours for working families. It's going to allow longer times where people that have school or work or family situations to take care of. It's just going to open up the process to all people of Ohio, and that's really what elections should be about: is making sure democracy is accessible to all Ohio voters. And by keeping the laws that are currently on the books intact, you're going to keep lying short on election day, and you're going to give people across the state an opportunity to participate in this democracy.
The congressional thing from yesterday, you filed suit asking the Supreme Court to do what?
Well, as you know, there was an appropriation added literally at the last moment to try and suppress the will of the people to take this issue to the ballot. And like the Let Ohio Vote folks a couple years ago, you have to ask the Supreme Court to remedy the situation, separate the appropriation from the legislation, remedy that. That allows us then to go forward to a petition gathering process. We'll then ask the Supreme Court to set the 90-day window in place so that we're not stripped away. The governor signed it Monday, so we don't want to lose that week and a half while the Supreme Court hears this issue. We're up against Thanksgiving holidays, Christmas, those kinds of things with this next initiative.
Just to follow up on Joe's question, how important are the current rules to Democrats? Some Democrats thought the Republicans challenged this because it was too much of an advantage to the Democrats. Some Republicans think you're challenging this because you need all 35 days to get your people to the polls next year. How important are the current set of rules to the Democrats' chances?
Hey, we play by the rules that the Republicans wrote. That's the fact of the matter is. And the fellow who's the Secretary of State now voted for and co-sponsored much of the legislation that Democrats found success using in 06, 07, 08, 09, and will continue to use and abide by the law, even if the Republicans set the law. Kevin DeWine was a co-sponsor of that legislation too. And what we saw is what we know. You turn out more people in the state of Ohio, regardless of political stripe, Democrats and the middle class win because of it. It doesn't matter about what they think or what they don't think. It's the law. And they wrote the law, and we abided by the law, and we won because of it. And we will elect and re-elect those who care about the middle class because of it, and this is why this thing's going to the ballot, and that's why we're going to defeat it next year. I mean, that's the great irony here. That John voted for this. That Kevin voted for this stuff. A lot of us were witnesses to that crime. We said at the time, as we say now, we can do better.
We have volunteers here from across the state. I want you guys to take an opportunity to talk with them. They're the reason we're here today. They're the reason we have 318,460 signatures across the state. Without the volunteer organization in this state, none of this would have been possible. And that's why we're going to win issue 2 this year, and we're going to win for Democrats next year.